Now, the Times has its own world in depth, told by one of the paper's foreign team. You can read it now if you're a subscriber, and if you're not, you can become one. Just go to times.radio/subscribe. Let's talk about Poland now. Finally, Poland's to send at least 4 fighter jets to Ukraine in coming days. First NATO member country to fulfill President Zelensky's urgent request for warplanes. And this at the time that an entire Russian spy network, it seems, has been dismantled in Poland. We can catch up with the Polish journalist and deputy editor-in-chief of the Polish daily newspaper Gazeta Wyborcza. That's Bartosz Wielinski, who's on the line. Welcome to you, Bartosz.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Should we talk first about the dismantling of this spy network? It seems dramatic news. Can you hear me?
Wow, this is quite a serious stuff. Yes, I can hear. This is quite a serious stuff. For the first time since, I don't know when, such a large spy network has been disclosed in Poland, and probably, thanks to activity of our Western allies who are monitoring communication from Poland to Russia. But those people were setting remote cameras in the area close to the airport in Rzeszów-Jasionka. This is this hub where, armaments, military aid has been delivered from Western countries and then transported via rail or via trucks to the Ukraine. And they have planted the cameras to monitor the movement of the shipments, and probably they were also ready to start some kind of sabotage actions against these shipments. Derailing of trains or bombings or I don't know what. There were a lot of threats from Russia in Russian public TV, in Russian politics, that Russians should try to use some terror actions against this airport, this very critical point, and to hamper Western efforts to support Ukraine. And something like that was somehow prepared. The people who was arrested were Belarusians. We have a lot of Belarusians refugees in Poland, and it was a matter of time when first, attempts of infiltration has been disclosed by our secret services, and this is most concerning. This is most concerning that such a thing could happen, and this is not it hasn't started yesterday or a week ago. That was a those plans are long before,
yes,
and executed also long before.
So potentially a serious threat. Now, what about the supply of these warplanes to Ukraine? A significant move in that it's the first. Obviously, not a massive shipment of these fighter planes, but the hope will be on the Ukrainian side. It opens up the supply.
Well, the Poland and Slovakia are probably the only countries, and maybe Bulgaria, they're the only countries of NATO that still use MiG-29s. MiG-29s are relatively old fighter from the end of the Cold War, and you could give those fighters to Ukrainians, Ukrainian pilots, without any need of further training, advanced training. This is the technology and avionics they are familiar with, and are making good use of their MiG-29s. So this is a decision to respond somehow to all those urgent calls of Ukrainian president to provide them with fighters. It's clear that any shipment of F-16 it would last months, and the training of the crews would also last a long time. While the plane is far more complicated than a tank or than a howitzer, and you can't simply train a pilot within 3 or 4 weeks, as it's usually done with new Bradleys or Leopards. So in order to make some kind of symbolic assistance or symbolic response, Poland finally decided to give its planes to Ukraine. We tried to do that a year ago, and there was some kind of problem with Americans who were not so happy about proposal and our offer to give those planes to Ukraine, fearing Russian retaliation.
Yes.
The problem was how to deliver it. Well, the tank you could put on the truck, and the truck could, Ukrainian truck could go from Poland to Ukraine with a tank on board. You can't disassemble a plane. This would be extremely complicated thing to do and to reassemble it back in the Ukraine. So you must fly the plane back to Ukraine in one piece, starting from Polish, German, Czech airfield, and then fly to Ukraine. The Russian could have considered it as an act of war. It mattered a year ago when, well, we didn't know what Russia, limits of patience, let's call it like that. Now it's clear that all those threats of Russia of possible escalation were empty ones.
Yes.
And also don't forget that Russians downed American drone over the Black Sea.
Yes.
It was a hard stuff. And it could be linked somehow.
Yeah, well, the hope will be that this opens the door to future supplies of warplanes, the warplanes that Ukraine needs so badly. Bartosz Wielinski, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.